Welcome to a sponsored episode of Aspen Affairs with our guest, Signature Aviation. I'm Alycin Bektesh, Public Affairs Manager with ACRA. Here at the table with me is Jim Hopkins. He's the Senior Vice President of Airport Relations for Signature Aviation. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Alycin. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
I'm glad to be here.
Great. Let's talk about why you're here today. The current contract for the fixed base operator at the Aspen Airport is about to expire. You represent one of the companies that was just announced to be a finalist to obtain the next contract. And I'm actually going to start with your role.
Okay.
So at Signature, you're responsible for building relationships with airports, their staffs, but also communities. What does that mean? What do you do, and why is that important?
Well, the reality is that if you go to an airport and you only envelop yourself just in the airport and you don't listen to the community and what the community wants, you're not playing the full role. You have to be a part of the entire airport and the community it serves. So going into that community and learning about that community, understanding its concerns, its opportunities, and ways that the company can participate in more than just the airport is really important. So we invest a lot of time doing just that. We come to the airport and we listen and visit with community leaders, with operators, and with everyone involved.
I'm excited to hear what you have been learning while you've been out in the community. Just for those of us who don't fly private all the time, I want to define that role first. So most flights in and out of the Aspen-Pitkin County Airport are private flights. They land and then go to a different part of the airport where the fixed-based operator takes care of them. What is a fixed-based operator? What does Signature Aviation do?
Well, first of all, fixed-based operator is a term it came about during the days of barnstorming in the 1920s. Airplanes would fly from place to place to place, but there were places that were at airports that were local where people could buy airplanes, where people could have their airplanes maintained. Because it was fixed, they called them fixed-based operations. We've kept the term ever since. But basically, what a general aviation service provider or an FBO does is that it greets airplanes when they come in, it fuels airplanes, and it prepares them for the next flight. We also provide a lot of other services to airports. We fuel the airlines. We do some baggage handling and ground handling. Basically, many times we're called on to offer all those services that others will not or cannot.
Okay. So this role is, you're bidding for this role here at Aspen. Why Aspen?
Well, let's face it, Aspen is an incredible, dynamic community. Everybody wants to be in Aspen, and we all have to admit that freely. But at the same time, Aspen is diverse, and it is a challenge because of its diversity in opinions and its community. But you know what? That's what makes it interesting, and that's why we spent so much time here. We started in 2015. An associate of mine was here, and we came and we did everything from visit with the Chamber of Commerce to go to hockey games, and we kind of learned about and we met people there. Now we're here, and we were very interested when this opportunity was coming up. We started about 2 years ago. We hired a group of local consultants and we started involving ourselves. And the more we learned, we came back with the idea, Aspen is a true community. Many big airports that we serve are very diverse and they never come back to one. There are lots of varying opinions here, but at the same time, it's interesting that this community comes together as one strong, solid force. We are really excited by that dynamic. We're excited by the dynamics and the leadership that Aspen is showing in environmental sustainability. They have concerns for safety, and they have concerns for airport development and making sure that all of its citizens are heard. We're really excited because we want to be part of that discussion.
So the company, and I think yourself personally, has been a member of this community, learned about this community for over 2 years, you just said. What are you learning? What does Aspen have to say?
Wow. Well, if you read if you read the newspapers around here, it's not too hard to figure that out. But you know, we're learning that there are residents who are affected daily by it. They're affected by the noise at the airport. They're affected by the fumes that come from the jets. They're affected by the traffic that comes here. The reality is those are all concerns, and we all have to figure out how we can do it better. One of the things that we've learned, and I will admit freely, we are not the perfect answer. We haven't come up with a perfect equation. However, the airport has done tremendous planning for this event. And what they have done is they've created, their advisory board created a long list of common grounds recommendations, and we've gone in and read them and listened to them. We've listened to the people who are proponents of the airport. We've visited with ones who are opponents of the airport. We've listened to people who have varying ideas, and some are really good, and some of them are not ready for prime time. But what we've learned, though, is that when we met with them and we talked to them, at the end of the day, they welcomed someone who was interested of what their concerns were and was interested of how we might be able to address the problem. That was really welcoming. I think if we came here and we recognized that, wait a second, we can't make an impact here, we probably would not be interested. And we couldn't help the community. We think we can help the community.
Okay, wonderful. One item you said was that you're hearing that safety is important. So how does a fixed space operator have anything to do with safety?
Well, so a couple things. First of all, at Signature Aviation, safety is first. I mean, we have our values and they're all important, but making sure that our customers and our employees leave the way they arrived is super critical. But how do you help the flying public do that? We're doing things because we have 4 operations in Colorado, and mountain flying is different from flying out in the flatlands. So we're doing a couple things right now. We have a webinar that's going to happen in May. We're going to have a safety symposium that we're doing over in Eagle in early April. And we have an expert in mountain flying who's going to come and address those things. It's interesting. We've just started putting that out, and we already are getting a long list of attendees. They're eager to know what we can do. But the reality is Aspen has had its events here. We know that. We think that if we can offer incentives for them to participate in safety seminars and do things and make it a give and take, that they'll get something for participating, but they'll learn something and they'll be safe, and that's good for us all. Okay,
fantastic. You also mentioned our environmental leanings here in Aspen, and you said that does go with your qualities with sustainability. Can you explain to me what Signature does for sustainability?
Well, we take pride that Signature is the most sustainable, environmentally sustainable business, aviation business there is. We have started making commitments in 2018 on sustainability. Since 2018, we've reached 20% of our goals towards net zero. And just about 3 weeks ago, we announced that we have taken our complete network of FBOs all around the world carbon neutral. Okay. And so basically, it's not just about Colorado. We've done things. We sell more sustainable aviation fuel than any other aviation business. All of our locations in California sell sustainable aviation fuel. In San Francisco, we only sell sustainable aviation fuel. And so we do things for the environment. We have electrical ground surface equipment. We burn bio-friendly fuels. We're doing all we can for the environment. It's important for us all.
So who the operator is who is in control of what fuels the airplanes. It's a whole new world for me. And you would be using some of that. You would be using something that's more sustainable to fly on than what's used now, or that you could use.
Yeah, and so let me make a point of clarification that's important to note. Many of us are looking for that instant answer. There's not an instant answer. Today, sustainable aviation fuel is a mix of 30% sustainable aviation fuel and 70% of the old jet A fuel, we call it. The FAA is working quickly to move it to a 50-50 mix. Oh. And one day we hope it's going to be a 100% mix. But the reality is that we are trying to do our best to make sure that we can supply it, we can provide it. That's number one. The other thing is, how can we incentivize those who are coming here to think the way that we're thinking? A lot of our customers, I doubt if you went to one of our customers and said, "Do you not want to be environmentally friendly?" that they would go, "No way." Of course, everybody does. But you have to be cognizant of what it takes to be net zero, what it takes to be carbon neutral, what it takes to be environmentally friendly. And then also, you have to remember the neighbors that are in your neighborhood, those people who live across the river who are concerned about fumes and noise. And you have to say, hey, let's talk, let's figure it out, and let's work toward a better tomorrow.
Okay, wonderful. And then you said you can't maybe control what fuel the customers use, and definitely not once they leave the airport, but your operations at the airport, your own fleet, you're trying to make green as well.
Well, so we don't have a fleet of aircraft. We service those fleets that come in. But for our largest customer, for example, has already made commitments to millions of gallons. We have aircraft manufacturers who have made commitments to purchasing millions of gallons from us. So we're providing A, the supply, B, the incentive for them to use it, and then the cooperation to help them use it across our network. We hope here in Aspen, but across Colorado and across our entire network across the U.S.
Wonderful. This kind of comes back to my earlier question, but just what is that connection between who happens to be operating out at the private side of the airport and the community? What corporate responsibilities are there for a company like yours once you get settled in a town?
Well, so first of all, you identify those concerns. Aspen is really out front in a lot of these concerns that we all should be concerned about. Matter of fact, what we are learning in Aspen, we're taking to other locations in other communities. One, we've talked about sustainability and the environment. Two, affordable housing. That's an issue. I've been here this week. I attended Habitat for Humanity's housing summit. It was simply fantastic. The thing that was most important about that is that they filled this entire auditorium with people from all over the community here to be excited about affordable housing. It's awesome.
So what did you learn from that, or what steps could you make to help with affordable housing for your own staff, if not the Valley?
Well, what did I learn? There's a huge need. And quite frankly, we need these people who need affordable housing more than they need us. We need to keep them here, and we need to make an investment to do that. If we're successful, we're going to make an investment in affordable housing. We're going to stand up, we're going to take our own dollars, and we're going to say, hey, that's great. Once more, we've been talking to local institutions in the community, and we're going to partner with them so that not only are we going to offer affordable housing to our employees, we're going to help them offer affordable housing to theirs. That's pretty critical.
I know the business community is really interested in that. Whatever kind of grouping together partnerships can be made for even one more bed for their staff.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I think you attended the same summit. It was very impactful.
Yes, absolutely. What other kind of community organizations or groups would you want to be a part of? Would you stay connected to where you selected?
Well, boy, there are a lot to be involved with here. We were touched this summer. We were able to participate in a philanthropic event for the Hope Center. The things that they are doing to impact this community and members of our citizens who are affected by crisis is just beyond belief. We were able to attend this dinner. They told these incredible heart-touching stories that have happened, and what they bring to this community, I haven't seen anywhere else. The fact that they are reaching out to all the schools here, offering their services as psychologists to help and talk to people. They help people in crisis. That has been really fantastic. I just returned this morning from a Rotary meeting. I'm a Rotarian, and during that there were no less than 5 other opportunities to participate. I think the really neat thing here is that when you get into Aspen and you get below the level, you get beyond the skiing and all the events and all the tourists that are here, you have a community that is really interested in doing better for everyone. It's really fun. There's going to be a lot to do, and we just want to be part of this community.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about Signature Aviation or your bid for the RFP, your bid to run the fixed-base operations here at the airport?
I think that the fact is that we have been in the aviation business for a very, very long time. And so many times you go and you bid the same model, the same idea over and over again. The director of the airport said it best, Dan Bartholomew. He said, "We expect to see something different. We don't want the old model. We need to change the way the Aspen Airport works. We need to listen to the community," and they set down the rules of the game. It was a challenge. I will tell you, I've done this for now 37 years. Oh. I have never had a challenge like this, but it is so fun to rise to the occasion. Our bid is going to be totally different than anything that anyone has ever seen. That's what's so exciting. I think that people will learn from Aspen, and we will take these models elsewhere. Also about our company, I'm just extremely proud. We're fortunate to have a consortium of owners who are really interested in the things we're doing. They're excited by those things. We're international, so we bring things from Europe and we bring things from all around the globe that help us share and make us smarter. And then we have over 5,500 employees who we're really proud of. They make us look good every day, and it's so great because if we were doing a bad job elsewhere, it'd be hard to come to this community to be proud to show off. And our managers, our employees that are working out in the cold, the snow, which you all know about that, make us proud every day. They're safe, they're interested, they support their communities too, and it's really a great company.
Jim Hopkins is the Senior Vice President of Airport Relations for Signature Aviation. Thank you for being on Aspen Affairs today.
Thank you, Alycin.
Members can inquire about sponsored episodes by emailing membership@aspenchamber.org.